But I was listening to the Lacoma playthrough,
Oh,
which
lordy.
which I like loved it, and also while listening to it was like, ugh.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're
That's
going
the
for.
reaction we want.
Yeah, we're
1, 2, 3, go!
Welcome to Sandbox and Chill. Today we are joined by the Rolled Standard, a Mork Borg, amongst other things, actual play podcast. So strap in, buckle up, and let's begin.
I'm waiting for a welcome to the Rolled Standard.
That's not happening. It's not happening. It doesn't
I
work
can't.
here like that.
We can't. It's not that. Yeah. I'm Christopher. I am our GM. You can find me on Twitter at 7CannibalChris7. I also run our Rolled Standard.
Everything?
Yeah. Yeah, except for the editing. That's you guys running.
Yeah.
Either way, you can find me there. That's pretty much it.
Hello, I am Levi. Twitter at Levi Boozy, but I don't tweet.
It pretty much non-existent.
I've done 2, maybe.
In the last
Life.
I've had it since
2009.
You could probably count the amount of tweets on your good hand.
Ooh.
Don't start.
Yikes.
On a bad hand
already.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. This happens all the time when we're not sitting in the right spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were at a different table configuration for this, so but we kept the order the same. Just we're in. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm Jake, at Von House for pretty much everything.
HAUS.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome, son. And I'm Nate, the youngest of us. And I'm at the Rolled Nate on Twitter.
With that, the one thing that kept getting me every time I was listening to you all is, have you ever listened to Last Podcast on the Left?
I've heard of it, but I have not listened to it.
I think I might have heard one.
Okay, just because I was going to say, I had to literally double check on Jake's voice because, Jake, you sound almost exactly like Marcus Parks from that podcast.
I need to listen now.
Except for he I don't know if you smoke, but he used to smoke for a long time, so he's just like a half octave lower than you. So it's really
smoke
trippy
more.
listening. I'm like,
Oh.
you two could be cousins or brothers or something.
Or brother husbands.
Brother husband.
Brother, stop! No, don't do that. Please, please.
if you know what we mean, yeah. We had a whole arc, a Mork Borg arc, where we played as a brother husbands.
Yeah.
So dumb.
To be honest, I think I've been told this before.
Yeah.
But I
wouldn't
can't
be surprised.
I think that's why I probably listened to one of their episodes.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
funny. After this, I'm gonna listen now.
Yep.
Yeah. Just because, I was like, oh, and then I was doing like research, like, are they related?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, are they distant cousins or something? I don't know. I don't
Hey,
know.
my family's a bunch of just wanderers, so honestly, we probably are. He could be my real dad for all I know. How
Yeah,
old is he?
probably. I think he's in his 40s.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Very
Maybe.
young father.
Yeah.
All
It
Vaughn
happens.
start off young.
It happens.
Yeah, I'm sure they start off young. Working
Everybody
everything.
starts off young.
Uh,
Lord.
my first like icebreaker question I had was, who of you all would you think is the most metal?
Okay, Chris.
Okay,
Dude,
Chris.
Yeah.
It's Christopher.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even a
Hands
Not
down.
enough.
like. I don't want to like put myself above you guys, but in metal I will.
Yeah, just go ahead, sit on your pedestal.
Yep. No, I am definitely the metal guy.
He has an alternate persona of just metal.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pure metal. like liquid metal.
It's metal and Justin Timberlake. Those are his personas.
yeah, that's my music taste. Yep. Metal and Justin Timberlake.
That's pretty much it.
So then, what type of metal would each of you would everyone be? Chris, you could answer that if you want, since you're the most metal.
That
Yeah.
makes most sense
Yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Nate, you're like. I'm starting with Nate. I know what? I've never thought of this, so this might take a minute. This is a fucking fantastic one.
Yeah.
Oh, can we swear? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can swear all
We-
you want. You can say
Oh, wait,
fuck,
'cause we
shit,
will.
damn, whatever.
We
If it's
will.
excessive, I'll
Woo!
just put like a counter
God,
up in
that
the
is
corner
so much
somewhere.
relief.
And then
Oh,
just-
that's-
Oh no! Don't give us a
Don't
challenge.
do that. Don't do that. That's not a good idea.
Oh, anyway, Nate, you're like that like party core, right? Like Attila or like.
Okay.
You're kind of a party boy.
I figured that like the first answer for you would be the joke one and be like, Nate, you're ska.
Hey, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here, but
Yeah.
that makes more sense to be honest.
I mean,
No, ska's not metal though, not even remotely.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so you're like that frat boy rock metal. I don't know. You're the metal I don't listen to.
That makes the most sense to me.
Jake is Jake's all over the place.
Oh,
So Jake's like Mr. Bungle,
Wait,
just kind of
what?
everywhere, you know.
Mr. Bungle?
You're definitely progressive.
oh,
That's a good thing.
okay.
But also there's a lot of groove to this boy, a lot of southern groove. Even,
he's
never been to the south.
He's figuring you out, yeah.
Remind me of Mr. Bungle. I need to listen to this.
You should. It's Mike Patton's like it's the guy from Faith No More. It's his side project,
Oh,
or maybe
perfect.
it's not a side project. That's hard to say. But it's weird as hell, and like it's crazy. It's just not as violent as your characters are.
Okay.
So if it was heavier, it'd be more of a fit. Levi, you're that doom metal, that slow and low doom metal. You know, just
I
heavier
like
than
it.
shit.
Fair.
Yeah, that's you for sure. Like the kind of music that you listen to, like driving a motorcycle across the country. Which you should be listening to music in that case,
Yeah.
probably, but it's okay
I like it.
because there's no one else out there. And I am like, what is that stuff called? Like
You would
math.
know.
I'm mathcore.
Math?
Math?
Yeah,
Core?
I'm all over the place and like
Yeah.
more technical than I need to be.
I mean, that
God,
works for
is
DM too. I mean, that's like on point.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with that, but with like a heavy deathcore element because I really like that shit. So,
It's not heavy metal, but have you heard of the band Gygax?
Gygax.
No.
Have I? I've heard of Gygen, which is like technical death metal.
There's
I
a,
not.
No, I haven't.
it's a D&D. I would say it's more along the lines of like heavy rock
Mhm.
band. If my headphones could let me reach, I'd like grab the album from down here. But yeah, that's what like definitely doesn't match the vibe. But what I would imagine the cover album would be is just like a spectral D20 with blood dripping down and like a hand rolling math rocks.
Oh,
That's bad.
I gotta check this out now too.
Yep,
Man,
yep.
I gotta start making a list.
yeah. We
Yeah.
should have brought paper and pencils and what are we doing?
Yeah, this,
Paper and pen.
right on the back of your sideboard character sheet.
Yes.
how I was trying to look for it, and maybe I didn't look hard enough. But how did you start? Because you're 144 episodes in.
Yeah,
It's a lot of things to go through.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want like the Fast and Furious family story or
Stop. Go ahead.
or like the technical story?
You can do either if you want, whatever your
Oh man.
Go Fast and Furious. They'll fill in the
Yeah.
details.
Oh, okay. All right. So there I was in Wyoming. We had a really rough start just before I left for Wyoming because we tried to do this on the YouTube thing
Yes.
and it just didn't work out.
We were not in the right place.
Yep. So I left for a little bit, and then these guys had actually started working, like Chris and Nate had actually started working on doing stuff during COVID. And I ended up coming back sometime during that, right before they started up. And originally it was Aaron that was also on the show, and he was working with them too, and they did everything online through Discord, and they were still playing games and stuff. And I had been witnessing it from kind of afar as I had come back and was, starting to visit again and stuff. And I didn't offer to be involved because they had already had pretty much a group set up, and I was just happy that they were doing it because we tried, and it just kind of fell apart. And eventually, when they did get the ball rolling, they approached me and asked me to join, and I said, "Hell yeah, I'll do this. Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
And we started off sitting, like I'm pretty sure Chris was sitting on the floor holding a mic while writing down information about all of our characters for Monster of the Week.
The floor was bigger than my space on the
Yeah,
table.
yeah. And then we eventually rearranged and constructed a small studio in Nate's place, and we got the table going. And unfortunately, Aaron had left us at one point. He moved to Pennsylvania, got married, and he's living his family life now. But
He's come back. He surprises us.
Yeah,
He doesn't tell us when he comes back. When he just knock on my door.
brought some sweet pencils that he made too.
Yeah, he does a lot of woodworking stuff
Nice.
Yep.
now. That's
Odds and Pens.
Odds and Pens on
Odds and-
Instagram
Yep.
for
Yep.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Hume. He's a great guy.
Yep, he's our big brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's the
And we
old
had to
man.
fill that hole, so we went to the adoption agency and we
I
found
am the
Levi.
fill-in.
No,
Well-
actually, I could say more about that myself
You
should.
because
Yes.
It started back in 2012 in our Bovie apartment.
oh my god, yeah, no, you're right.
That's true.
When I became obsessed with podcasts myself, and I was 19 years old, and I had nothing to do or say, and I was like, all I want to do is make a podcast. And I was asking Levi about it. He's my roommate, of course, and he's just like, I don't want to be harsh about this, but like, Nate, you're 19. What the fuck do you have to say that people want to hear? I'm like,
point.
oh
Yeah.
god damn it, this is painful, but sure, yeah. So when this opportunity came around, I had the money to buy a bunch of this equipment, and I was like, well, let's do it. And then pretty much all of what Jake's story was there until Aaron left, and we were like, dude, we don't want to like feel like we're replacing you, bud, but this dynamic works really well with 4 people.
Yep.
Right.
And Levi being the person who I assumed would be the most critical of everything that we were doing when we were listening to it.
He still is.
That's true.
He'd call me up every Friday when we had this show come out. Like he'd call me up after work and be like, "Dude, what is going on right now?" And he would be the first person to come to me about all this stuff. And I was like, "Well, he's my oldest friend. He knows the show. He listens to everything. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting on. I mean, he was there. It was the 4 of us when we were trying to do the YouTube thing too.
That's true.
So it's like
Yep.
it makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, we already had a good dynamic between us.
Yeah. So it was like episode 24 or 25, something like that, middle of the Monster of the Week arc that we did. Levi jumped in, and man, that was perfect. He played
Oh yeah.
a young boy named Huey that came in who was just like a green thumb, and his natural
Hesitation.
hesitation.
Uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
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 One might say he was a greenhorn.
Yeah.
Not a green thumb.
But yeah, no, we just wanted to be like originally, actually, what we were thinking of doing, thank God we didn't go through with this, was that the show would be we would play a game and then the next episode review it.
Yeah, like one shot, then review it.
And I'm so glad we didn't do that because that would be so harsh.
You can't review a thing after seeing it once.
No.
Oh no. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, so I was like, that seems like if you want to review anything at all, you need to be what's the word I'm looking for? Reputable, right? Like
Yeah.
it needs to make sense. Like you need to know what you're talking about, and there's no way with how complex or non-complex some games are for us to get all that in a one shot without it being ridiculously long.
At the same time, I like being like obviously a lot of our focus is comedy anyway. Like just making each other laugh is very, very much like
That's a day to day.
Yeah, our main thing. But when it comes to reviewing a game as well, we talk about the story we told, but we talk about the mechanics from the point of view of somebody who's never played the game before a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We walk into a game for the first time, and Chris is pretty much the person who knows what's going on, and the rest of us follow.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
And so we have the perspective of new people to a system.
That's true. I actually didn't think about it that way either.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was listening to a couple of your reviews, like the Viking Death Squad review.
Oh, why?
Because I was working backwards, so that was the first one. But
Oh, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah.
That was a harsh one.
yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
but,
it was.
because I think a lot of people, when I do read reviews, because I've also thought about reviews as well, is they look at it from like an industry standpoint or like just a math crunch, and I never actually hear anything about people playing it. So
Yeah.
being able to listen to Viking Death Squad and then hear the review and then the critiques of it felt more justified than just like here's
That's
our
the word I'm looking
write-up.
for. Justification.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. No, I'm glad you went to that one first because that one was it's pretty modern for us, so it's kind of got our current style, I guess, and it was harsh, but the game was still fun. Like the story was ridiculous.
I had a good time.
Yeah, you had a great time.
Yeah, of
you
course
were a
you did.
monster. That's why. You're always having fun when you're a monster.
How long did it take you to like settle into the style that you have?
No. I feel like it was probably at least a year.
And honestly, we're ever evolving.
Right.
Yeah, we still haven't found like a final style.
It's almost like every game we play, we add something new to the mix.
Yep, intentionally.
Yeah, we don't really take much out. We're always adding something new.
Mhm.
So whatever style we have is
Yeah.
just us. Like
Yeah.
it's our own style.
That's true. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't listen to honestly, and I don't know if this could be taken. but-
Maybe because I don't listen to a lot. So maybe there are tons of other people
Yeah,
out
that's
there
true.
doing
Yeah.
the same.
I don't
exact
listen to a
thing,
lot of
but-
other podcasts. I've just been playing role playing games my majority of my life, so I just figured it was a natural progression. You know,
Yeah, Levi
But,
and I come from the world of like listening to tons of podcasts
That's true.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
I was a blank slate.
You were, and
In
that's
both
that was
regards.
why I was so like, yeah, let's get Jake on board because he's got a fresh perspective that none of us have. He's like the guy who doesn't even know what's going on. No, but
Yeah.
initially that's how it was, you know. And now,
Well-
of course, you know
well,
things.
We
but
did find our groove probably a year in, right
Yeah.
around.
I feel like Cold and Deathless, or not Cold and Deathless, but Open Graves
Yeah,
was like where we start. Like, maybe it wasn't even that. It was probably before that.
it was like
but-
it was around when Levi showed up, honestly, because once Monster of the Week started, like we started feeling really confident
that's
with
true,
that.
actually. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
with John Cena and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely like in talking to people, a lot actually don't listen to other tabletop like podcasts. Maybe there's like one or two that they listen to.
right.
Which I don't know about you, but it definitely seems like it is both good because you're not really influenced by the other systems or like I want to be Critical Role or Dimension 20. It's like no, we want to have fun like what you're talking about. But then on the flip
right.
side, like hearing what popular people are listening to, air quotes, on that, and like, well, what is it that's actually driving people to their podcast?
That's a good point.
Is
I guess.
helpful.
Yeah. No, I've listened to a lot of like I started with Critical Role early on, like when Chris invited me to start playing Dungeons and Dragons years ago. This is why like where
That's
the
true
merger,
origin.
yeah, where the merger of the two interests like
Mhm.
we started happening. I started listening to Critical Role not because I wanted to listen to people play D&D, but I wanted to know about it.
Mhm.
I wanted to know mechanically what was going on, and then people would always suggest that to me anyway, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. And I started listening to the first campaign. It blew my mind, obviously.
Mhm.
But then I started branching out from there, and like Not Another D&D Podcast was
Right.
probably the second one that I went to, and that one was more like, oh, this is, yep, I get it. This was us. Like, this is how we did things at a table when we played it. It was more casual in that way.
Yep.
And if it influenced me at all, it was more in the way that I'm like, we don't have to be crazy, crunchy, weird
Right.
guys with what we do. We can just, a lot of what we do is being characters and having fun, and then
Mhm.
the dice and the system facilitate that.
We've had episodes where we literally rolled nothing.
Yeah.
Many.
I mean, yeah, multiple. It just happens. Sometimes that's just what you got done in that time frame. I don't
Yeah.
like to, and it was based on feedback. Is I don't like to rush our story at all.
Mhm.
Like if it's something that we intend to be a one shot. Perfect example.
Mm.
Philip Jensen's. Oh my God, what was it called again? For the we did a jam for our Mork Borg arc, a game jam.
Oh, right.
The
right,
Cold and
right.
Deathless Northern Darkness jam, and Philip Jensen, Unholy Night. I hope that's right.
The
one
preacher free.
Well, okay, so it was supposed to be each submission was supposed to be a single episode, but we turned
Mhm.
that one into like 3.5 episodes. just
Was that
'cause-
the Clam Dash?
Nope,
Yeah.
that wasn't Clam Dash.
No, no. By the way, by any award-winning author Carl Druid.
Oh yeah,
The Any award-winning
Emmy
Carl
award-winning
Druid,
Yes.
Carl Druid,
The very
creator
same.
of Clam Dash.
The
Yes.
very same.
Wow,
the one and only.
that's yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah. So we're pretty good about stretching the scene. You know, let the scene
Yeah.
kind of marinate. It's true. Like,
And whatever unholy liquid we have laying
dude,
around.
sometimes I feel like I should take it off the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you guys go real far. Oh my God.
Well, that's one of the things that I like while I'm listening to you all is that it does have that it's a really nice balance between feeling like you're at the table and then the narrative, because there are other podcasts I'll listen to that's like, okay, so we've talked about your car for an hour. That's not an in-game car.
Oh,
Oh man.
Oh, no. Oh, that's sad.
Painful.
Yeah, it's like, okay, and back to the tabletop. Cool.
Yeah.
We have moments like that, but I feel like we cut them pretty short.
Yeah.
Because the little part, like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
did I tell you? And then it's like Levi talking about like car insurance.
Our new thing in that is we'll yell at each other that it's the wrong podcast.
Oh yeah, wrong
Yeah.
podcast.
Wrong podcast. How do you decide what to cut out?
Oh my God.
That's a question for you guys. That's where I'm hands off on editing.
So I don't know. I feel like each one of us has our own individual style.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it had a lot to do with like I thought of every episode as a story I was reading. So as I was listening, I would cut out. Oh my God, this is gonna sound insane, but I cut
gosh.
I cut out like every stutter, weird defect I could find with my ears. Like I wanted it to be like a book being told.
Mhm.
And that's what, like, as soon as I took over on Mork Borg, that's how I wanted it to be. Because Nate set the standard. Nate set the standard.
Mhm.
He was doing it all by himself for I don't know.
Well over a year.
Yeah.
A year and a half or so.
And
probably.
then it got to the point where he just needed help. So I picked up the memory card one day and I went home and I'm like, I can do this. And then like fucking 36 hours later, I will walk out of my house and I'm like, oh God, oh,
It's the sun.
Just beat up.
But I eventually got quicker at it and I really started enjoying making like, I cut out dead space because sometimes we lose track of what we're saying or we'll not, we won't say things in character or we'll just kind of mess up or, we'll say something we didn't mean to say and it was out of character and we'll say cut that. Sometimes I leave it in, but
Yeah, there's plenty of times where I'm like, hey, cut this, but, and then it's in the
stays in.
episode.
right. I don't know. For me, I found every game that I was editing for, there was an atmosphere that we had developed. And I would base my editing off of that. So if it was fun and quick-witted and just hilarious, I made everything a little bit faster.
Like Lacoma.
Yeah,
It was quick.
Yeah, it felt quick because they were on a mission that was like happening then now.
They're running through the streets,
Yeah.
just madmen. Yeah.
And then with Cold and Deathless, it was days and
A cold,
weeks,
dark
and,
slog.
yeah, and I mean years went by, so I made everything seem longer. The conversations and the narrative I left a lot in, and I when it came to mechanics, I made that a little bit quicker. Just the fight scenes I make seem a little quicker, but I never cut out anything major. Most of it was just excess, a little bit of fat. If I was given an hour and a half to 2 hours of recording, I'd cut that down to an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
And a lot of that is our preamble, just banter, warming up.
Yeah, we'll like hit the record button and then talk
Yeah,
for like 20
I mean, we
minutes.
haven't seen each other in a week, so we
Yeah.
got to catch up, obviously.
That's usually it.
It's also a great place to grab like
Bloops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bloops.
that's
We call
where a
them
lot of
bloops.
our bloops come from.
the outtakes and stuff.
That and all the coughing and drinking things and
Yeah.
just me
Crazy
vaping.
sneezes and yeah.
Yeah, me sneezing and
Levi just actually started taking over on the cutting of the
The
there's
raws.
this 2-stage stuff that we do.
Yeah.
It's like we have somebody cut raw stuff and then I do sound
Can we
effects
say it?
editing.
Can we say
What?
the?
No,
Okay,
don't.
fine.
What are you crazy?
Oh, fine.
Go for it. You have to do it now. You brought it
yeah,
up.
you built
We
tension.
call the second half condom edits.
Because it's protected. it's not as raw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Levi, you just started taking over with that stuff.
hmm You're doing fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out pacing and, just taking my time with it.
Hey man, go back and listen to Weizen.
Boston.
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 That was horrible pacing for me. You're doing great.
That one was hilarious, though. All that goat punching. That was a weird one.
Yeah. Well, that was like one of those things too. Like when it came down to it, I started doing more sound effects stuff. Like there were always things in the show. I do like voice modulation type of things for certain stuff.
That's why you needed a second dude.
But yeah, it started to get more serious when we did what was it? The 1 year
When you're one shot.
one shot, the White Hills.
Yep.
It was a Call of Cthulhu thing that we did, and I started putting more in there. And I really
yeah.
liked how those things started turning out. So I doubled down on it with Cold and Deathless, or rather Open Graves, our very first Mork Borg thing.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I was like, well, I can't not do this anymore. Like, this this is too good now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it so much, especially like you throw some ambient noise in the background to something, just like wind whipping around in a cold environment or whatever. It changes how you listen to it.
Yeah,
and,
it feels different.
and I was like, okay, now I have to do this. But it was like felt like 3 times the effort to put all of it in together. And after
Right.
a while, I was like, guys, I need somebody to cut this down for me first, or else I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
But it made it all the better because then it was something I didn't have to focus on, and then I could focus on that stuff right there in the moment. That's one of the things I enjoy the most doing, obviously outside of recording, but sending off the final product to everybody who hasn't heard that stuff but me yet, and having people react to it is very, very fun.
You listen to it on a Thursday night.
Yep.
That's my Thursdays.
What's your input on this editing stuff?
Yeah.
For a long time, I just was the backseat podcaster, you know.
No, you were the face.
Yeah, I did very minimal. I just showed up and recorded, and I always felt bad. So I was like, well, I can help when they need it.
Yep.
So then I just kind of took over the pre-production stuff, and now I'm trying to figure out normalization, which is a headache, and I hate it. It's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you're doing great.
It's fun. I love, like, I'm gonna go back and edit something that I ran for fucking ever ago.
They're a Patreon episode.
Yeah, I should really do that.
Oh yeah, you should tell us more about your Patreon because I hear about it. I'm not on it yet, but I know that there's a Discord and your Patreon and specials.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's just we try to put out bonus content there. We put our part zeros there, our character creation episodes. Those go there. And sometimes in the longer arc, we'll have character creations in the middle of it too, where we just made a new character because someone died.
And we're a family.
yeah, that too. No.
Also, the Patreon, we haven't been able to do a whole lot with extra episodes and stuff, but it did give us the opportunity for Flail to the Face.
Flail to the face.
So
that's important.
Patreon did support us enough to start that second show.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it is a place where we have a couple of standalone things on there right now.
I put my notes on there. Cannibal Cookbook. Yeah. Yeah, you can also get access to our Discord. That's the biggest thing, I think, because all those people that are part of that are just like really good friends of ours now, like personal friends.
And it's like it's a one-time key thing. Like,
yeah.
You support us the one time, you're in for life.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. All those guys are like brother husbands. That's what they call themselves.
Yeah, that's what they call them.
The bro hubs.
I didn't start it. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that was
That was
Levi's
me.
idea. Yeah,
That
that was Levi's idea.
That was a perfect idea.
It was funny, and it kind of took off within our community. But that's awesome.
But even then, it was like we did this show weekly for about 2.5 years, and
It was
realizing that we
right up to the nut.
Yeah, after a while, it was like record the week before it comes out for this episode and keep going like that for a long time because we're all like I've said it before multiple times. You know, we just work normal jobs. We have families. We have other things that are going on. So like doing Patreon stuff is very hard to make time for. That's why
we do what we can with it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But we appreciate that everybody understands that, and that being part of the whole thing is kind of very nice to just sit down and chat with people during the day and stuff like that for the most part.
Yeah, because that was going to be my question of like what your turnaround time looks like. Because with having a Patreon and podcast, it just every time that there's one more step of anything, whether it's social media, Discord, modding a Discord or so on, it just cuts into your editing time or play time.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of why I let them deal with the editing, and then I just do everything else because editing is the big part.
Right now, we've kind of separated the workload pretty evenly.
For sure.
I mean, one of us kind of gets I'm currently getting a big break right now, which I needed, and I'm thankful for it. But that's part of being how close we are. Like, we're all just really good friends playing some games, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do all of this for fun, and the like having people in our corner, like on Discord, I want to travel out and meet these people. We might use that money just to go out and see them.
Give it back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
give it back.
honestly, it's just when we started this, Patreon was like a dream, and now it's actually becoming a thing. And the more support we get, the more we're just going to give back. I don't see us doing anything different.
No, that's true. Most of it just, I mean, pretty much our entire revenue just keeps our services that
Keeps
we
the
use
lights
to make.
on.
Yeah, keeps the lights on. Yeah.
What
Pretty good.
what is like with that? What's something that you want to expand as you keep going?
Oh my God, everything. We were just talking about a tavern.
We do. Yeah, we were. I don't know how serious that was, but we just actually did start a new thing. We started a new show called Flail to the Face, which is a compatible with Mork Borg Actual Play podcast, focusing exclusively on third-party Mork Borg content.
You guys are working on something?
That was.
We're working on a few things.
Oh yeah, we're working on a few things. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, what are those few things?
Right, that's a logical question. No, me and Nate are working on a Mork Borg zine with a friend of ours, friend of mine. Which should, I don't want to like say anything too concrete, but I feel like by the end of the year we'll see a Kickstarter for that.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
hopefully so.
Yeah, and
It's,
so me and Nate are writing it. He's got a bunch of classes, my friend, and yeah, he's a fantastic artist, comic book artist. So the art that accompanies it is beautiful.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was gonna say. Is like some of the episodes remind me of like they should be comic books.
That's what I'm. Okay,
Yeah.
I do our cover art,
Yeah.
except for the few guest work. And initially they were comic book covers, right? That was my inspiration for those. Then it became. I realized that I was putting them in the wrong aspect ratio. I was making them tall, like portrait. They're supposed to be square, like an album cover. So why the hell wasn't I making album covers initially? You know what I mean? Considering how much I'm into metal and stuff, like you think that's where I would have went first,
Right.
But no. So now I do. Now it's based on like album covers. They're
Nice.
supposed to look like that. But that's another thing I feel that sets us apart is we have custom art for every episode.
Yeah, nowadays. And that's one of those things too that just started
It was one of the things we added in an arc.
yeah.
Yep.
We do it all the time with a bunch of random stuff, and
That was our Starfinder arc, We're No Heroes, that had its original
Yeah.
covers.
oh man, that wild ride.
That was using like Hero Forge
Yeah.
characters and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Manipulate them as much as you needed to, and export them.
They look great though.
PNGs and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, they're reliable.
Works fine.
They stay put. You can rotate them however you want. Did you know the Rolled Standard has a Patreon? Well, they do, so go check it out or their webpage for bonus content and access to their Discord. Was that everything like you would love to expand to? What happened to the tavern?
Oh my gosh.
Right? That's a good question.
No, that's my 5 to 10 year plan.
yeah.
Yeah, the Rolled Standard.
You gotta.
Tavern.
We might just give you a free pass to the Discord for a day so you can check things out. But that's where all the information's laid out. We
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
stop
menu.
it. No, stop.
We're giving you a free.
Oh, you're right though.
We're giving you a free pass to the Discord. Period.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That works even better.
Yeah, you have to. Come on. Yeah, we should have actually probably invited you earlier, but it didn't happen that way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine.
That was all of today's conversation with everybody was if there was a Rolled Standard Tavern. Jake and I just popped in and read all of this craziness that was going on, but it was
I'm
like
a-
dialogue for people at this
Yeah,
tavern.
yeah. It was pretty good. Like the menu items and stuff were all
Holy
based on
fuck.
stuff that happened in our episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Those
wild.
guys know our show so well.
It's
I think
bizarre.
better
Blows my mind.
than me, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, that's true.
That's one of those things too. Like a lot of those guys are amazing artists as well, and they just come in and just show us the wildest fan art of. Even saying that's what it is
Feels
weird
wrong.
weird to me. I know those guys too well, but like Michael Reedy and Tom Gambino, especially, are two dudes that I think of right away. They're just stellar dudes, and they do amazing work.
There was a point where Michael Reedy, every time that we would like have a new episode out, he would have like a weird GIF based on what happened or something really bizarre.
For Lycoma? Yeah.
Like Homa, and he did it with the Viking Death School. Remember the
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
surfing
right,
on his
yeah.
corpse?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
Like you like kick flip the corpse and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. that
Oh
was-
my god.
Yeah, he just came out of nowhere and just gave us tons of love. I mean,
Yeah.
all of them did. So
for sure.
it's just a wonderful little community.
What? Change topic, kind of. What? Why didn't YouTube? What happened there?
Oh, we were too young.
I don't think we do exactly what we wanted to do.
No, we didn't.
What we were basing our like, a lot of our inspiration for that on was
Did we get to show the tattoo?
no, don't do it.
Oh, come on.
No.
Mine's messed up.
All right.
Okay, it was based on Funhouse.
Oh yeah, I just saw them.
Upload the old one.
I know. I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
going to,
what?
I wanted to virtually strangle you for going to see Elise and Yoda.
Yeah,
It was wonderful. But yeah, no, that's where Jake and I bonded originally was
Demo disc.
yeah,
Mhm.
he moved in with me and we sat and we watched Demo Disc like every Monday. We lost our minds watching that. I mean the tattoo is it's legitimate. It says Volcor 316. Is one of the greatest bits. But yeah, that's how kind of what we were basing our stuff on. Real, MST3K,
Mhm.
People
Yeah.
talking heads behind somebody playing a game. And we had fun with it. I mean, somewhere,
It exists.
a couple of episodes
Burn it
exist on
down.
YouTube.
Burn it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think any of us have the login information anymore.
Oh, no.
Jake does.
Oh no, I
Oh, so
do.
you still can?
I watched one of the videos a month ago.
I'm subscribed to it.
Yeah, try to find it.
I have checked it out. If you're not subscribed to it, you won't find it very easily.
No.
Yeah,
we
it's
should
hard to
post a
find.
link in the Discord.
Even if
I,
I got here.
I think I have. I think I have before.
Yeah.
You have actually. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
So basements and bastards.
I remember you guys couldn't find a picture of my face because I don't really put my face up
Yeah.
much. That was just a picture of Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
But, like, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think there
Good
was
luck.
any way I could have done that in Wyoming either.
No, probably not.
No.
No. That was probably the biggest thing, honestly. Because you moved away.
Yeah, my daughter had moved back to stay with her mom in Hawaii, so I figured I'd go and stay with some family out in Wyoming and get a little bit of mountains in my life.
Yeah. It was a lot of stuff to start like just out of nowhere as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The doing audio stuff is a lot of work as it is. Adding video into all that was
And
I'm
we
sure
had-
you're no stranger to it.
we had
Yeah.
the worst equipment.
we had terrible equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Snowball
Props
plastic
to your.
globe thing.
Oh, yeah, the snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was awesome.
That was-
But yeah, props to your video editing, James. I noticed each one of these
Agreed.
like interviews is completely unique. All the graphics and everything.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I try to do that. I'm excited for this one because it has lots of yellow and black, and then I get to pull out some metal stuff and
Yeah.
royalty-free metal, which is more like, is soft.
If you want
It's
some
pretty soft
assets,
metal.
I got you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can give you some assets if you
We
need
know
like logos and
royalty-free.
whatnot from our stuff.
Yeah, if you want to just send it to me, I'll use all of it.
Wonderful.
Dang.
Like I'm
Send
doing
you
one.
more than you need just so you hold to that.
Yeah, I'm doing one right
No,
now
okay.
that's comic book style. So I'm like,
Oh,
ugh,
Rad.
That's very cool.
I have to make gifs of pow, ka-ching, pata,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the onomatopoeia.
I always
onomatopoeias.
thought it would be cool to be tattooed in those things.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
And do a GIF?
What?
Tattoo a GIF?
Can you? I wonder.
No, you can't.
You can't. Oh, that makes sense.
Not yet.
Watch me.
So you all have played a lot of different systems, and this is going to be a
Mm-hmm.
piggyback off of a question from Phil from Twitter,
Oh yeah.
which you might have seen. Which
Yeah.
he asked, what makes a system good? So like of the systems you've played, which ones did you really enjoy, or what parts of them did you enjoy? And then from there we can figure out what makes a system good, because that's a big question.
Obviously, Mork Borg.
Mork Borg.
Yeah.
Mork Borg.
Mork Borg.
Mork Borg.
Call of Cthulhu, Monster of the Week.
Come
those are
on,
two
Mork Borg.
Amazing.
No, you're right though. You're
so
right.
fun.
uh,
I really enjoyed Numenera.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was
Numenera,
a-
that system was rad.
that one was definitely out there for us, especially at that point. But having pools was a very cool thing for that.
Mhm.
So something being
I like tables and randomization.
yes.
If
Yeah.
the game has crazy stuff that I can roll on, that's going to automatically make it a fun game for me.
like, yeah, roll
And
a
for
d20.
me, as the GM who doesn't actually know what's gonna happen but knows what could happen,
Right.
Right.
That's how I
Yeah.
like. I prefer as a GM. I would rather just have like a whole bunch of tables.
And Mork Borg already opens up for that, so of course we love
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
it opened us up to a whole bunch of other games that are kind of like it.
Adjacent, the
Yeah.
Borgiverse,
Yeah.
the extended Borgiverse.
So that's kind of what makes a good game for me is being so open. Like Also, we're improv artists, if I can even say that. Like,
Amateur, yeah.
I mean, we are what we are, but having a game that fucking
Improvises with you. Sure,
Yeah,
Oh
that's-
yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe we're a little,
I'm struggling,
biased?
Yeah, well, maybe I'm struggling to like put exact words to it, but there are certain games that give you very little to have to maintain, but give you a lot to be able to do with it.
Right.
Yes.
And like Mork Borg is a perfect example of that. I always think Monster of the Week and Call of
Mm-hmm.
Cthulhu feel like that. Like maybe Call of Cthulhu is a bit more like
Little grindy.
a little bit grindier, but I don't ever feel like that's exactly the case. Monster of the Week is another perfect example of that for me, where it's like, here's your things, here's the weapons that you can have, here's your abilities and whatever. Even like Apocalypse Keys, when we played that, it was a little too open in certain regards, but when it came to like the character classes or the player playbooks or whatever they were called, the abilities that you got were just like weapons from elsewhere, I think
Yeah.
is what mine
Yep.
was. I was like, okay, well, I'll interpret this in a very anime way because that's exactly what I see. Let's pull weapons out of nowhere, like Gilgamesh or whatever,
It was badass.
I know, it was awesome. So that kind of stuff really always gets me, like having very little to manage, but a lot to do.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's a hard line to walk. I'm sure when you're when you're making games, so it's very specific in that regard. But I think that's my favorite part about a game most of the time.
Rayman Legends.
No. Mutant Crawl Classics. I was going to say Radiation Damage, but that doesn't
That's our
mean
art
anything to anybody who doesn't know the game we're playing. Mutant Crawl Classics was one of those weird ones where it's like, here's a lot of the stuff that you can do right away in the beginning. Good luck if it doesn't work out for you, but we found a lot of fun with it. Like Levi's character was supposed to have wings, and then they rolled very poorly, and
They're
they were
useless.
useless.
Yeah.
I had
vestigial.
I had like super jacked monkey muscles, and
they were show
they were
muscles.
show muscles.
Yeah, they had no strength modifier to it, so he
Yeah.
was just bodybuilder strong.
But on the opposite side, Jake's character, which was mine originally, and he killed too many people and had
Yeah.
too many useless
Yeah,
characters.
we ran a funnel, right? Everybody had 4 characters. One of Jake's characters died during the character creation.
and then 2 other characters died in the same moment at like the 11th hour.
Yeah, and the other one was just so pathetic that he's like, I can't
I
play
can't
this.
do this.
Like, it's not gonna work. I'm like, yeah,
But
that's
he
fair.
became. I mean, it.
He was Dende from Dragon Ball Z. He could do one cool thing, and that was heal people.
That's true. He was like a bison man with like the limbs kind of all on one side.
Yeah,
and a human
unfortunate.
face.
Yeah, and a human face.
You did that to you though.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless, it was. I mean, we're still going through the end of that arc. We've recorded it all, so that's one of like something really great that we're looking forward to have come out.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll go to show, like that one specifically is one where I'm like, this is absolutely bizarre, and I'm so glad that it happened.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things like we could never have guessed that it would be this way, and we couldn't be happier with the way that a story ended. And I would never have known that jumping into MCC, looking at the monster of a book that it is, So
Yeah.
it's very weird for me. You just got to jump into a game, and then if it clicks with you, then it clicks with you, man. It's so hard to give people actual recommendations. That's why I like talking about the episodes that we do in our reviews, because we can cite things that happened
Right.
as examples of why it's cool or not cool or whatever the case may be.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. No,
I figure it out sometimes.
Yeah. No, I really like when games are like rules. I like there to be rules, right? I don't want games to be too loose.
You
But
yearn
I
to be
like
constrained.
well, not so much that, but I do like a rules like Mork Borg is OSR rules light, right?
Mhm.
It's bare bones, and that if you're trying to build a monster, right? A skeleton's a great place to start. You can put whatever organs and limbs you want on that thing. So that's kind of how I see it. I just like a game with enough, I guess, not so much player agency, but like players agency. You know what I mean? Like we can put stuff into the game that we want to, and I just like it. I just like openness, but I also like there to be like a good structure for that openness to exist on. like a good sound dance floor.
A nice
You can just
plot of
go
land.
nuts. Yeah,
That's-
nice
yeah.
plot of land. Yeah, you got good soil.
Like I said,
Build what
it's
you want.
A line that you got to walk between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It kind of is a fine line too, because you get too many things and you can't build what you want, but you don't get enough, and there's no foundation. You can't build anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this metaphor makes any sense, but I feel like it made sense to me.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
It's just a plot of sand instead of a lush forest.
Yeah,
There you
give
go.
me some trees so I can cut them down, so I can use them to build stuff.
Or make
Yeah, not just to
pikes,
cut 'em
and you can put heads on them.
Whatever you
Yeah.
want. That's the beauty.
See? You have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Ghost paint.
Corpse paint.
That. I don't know why I said ghosts.
Oh.
I've been thinking about ghosts a lot lately. Oh, Carter's been telling me about his scary dreams.
Please.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Oh, I didn't mean to derail everything. This is what happens.
I mean,
Yeah, this is-
we could talk for hours about ghosts and ghost hunting. I'm gonna lead a
Hey.
one shot that's just a spoof on Ghost Adventures.
Oh,
my
dude.
gosh.
Dude, Chase Graves.
Yep. Yep. That was part of our Apocalypse Keys thing too.
Yeah, I played a good because at one point I handed the GM torch to Nate, and I played a ghost hunter named Chase Graves who was actually dead, but nobody knew it but the cameraman. Like he caught it happen, and he's like, "This doesn't get aired." So like people just don't realize that he's actually dead. He's undead. Yeah, we gotta bring that guy back as someone's grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brindlewood Bay.
Brindlewood Bay. Yep, someone's grandson. That would be fun.
Heck yeah.
Is there like one system that you've played that you would not recommend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like to speak too ill or too negatively about really anything, but like,
Yeah.
man, I really think that Viking Death Squad could be a better game if just put. See, like I don't know the I don't know the stuff behind it. You know what I mean? I don't know the reasons why things are the way they are, but I wasn't too pleased with like just the way the game plays. Like there's just, I mean, and it could be that way, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a game for beginners because you're going to be like, well, this feels like there's a lot of holes here. And it's not a game for veterans because they're going to be like, oh, there's a lot of holes here. But I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah. That's the game I would not recommend.
Yeah. I mean, even in a world where we talked about games that we probably wouldn't have recommended in the past, I still looking back, we were a little bit harsh on Apocalypse Keys for a little bit there. Just it was a little bit more open than we would have preferred. When it came to how the whole world came together at the end of everything.
Yeah, I pushed the limits of how that works.
Yes.
And I broke it.
Yeah.
So,
But even then, I'd still recommend that
it's fun.
over the Viking Death Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to the games that we've played. Like
Yeah.
I can't say don't play whatever because I haven't played it. This is my
Right.
only other option. Not only that, but
You're not recommending you don't play it. You just wouldn't recommend to play it.
If someone was telling me like, "Hey, I'm gonna go play Viking Death Squad," I was like, "All right, man, have fun."
Yeah. Have a
That's
good
it.
time.
I'm not gonna be like, "No, don't."
yeah, right.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like,
exactly.
hey man, what would you recommend I play? It's like, yeah, go play Monster of the Week or Call of Cthulhu or
Mork Borg.
Mork Borg or something.
Yeah.
I that was the obvious option as far as I
I know.
I'm gonna say it.
Like Lycoma had a really cool
Man, Lycoma was a blast.
So
operating
cool.
system.
That's another perfect
I tell
example
you
of
what,
that.
Viking Death Squad, I would play after a night out with the boys where you're just too sloshed when you get back. Because
To
that's
like
a simple,
really dig into the mechanics.
Yeah, you don't have to dig in too much.
That
You
kinda
just
makes
like-
sense.
Yeah.
So after you
That's what
pillage
it-
a village and you've drank all the meat, you play
Yes,
Viking
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Squad
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
Yeah.
in it. You're
So
already-
it's
That
still
feels like
has-
it makes sense for it.
Still
too.
has a
Absolutely.
chance.
No, Lycoma, I don't know why I would overlook it when it came to that.
Yeah, really.
It is such a wild and weird game. I would definitely recommend it to anybody.
Absolutely. And the people behind it too are just
They're
fantastic
great people.
humans.
They're
Some of my favorite humans.
I had not heard of like meat. What was it? Meat Punk.
Meat Punk.
We
Yeah.
hadn't either.
Yeah, I had to look
Yeah.
it up and
It
stuff.
was
and
bizarre. I liked it.
there's not a lot of research material for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, though. I mean, like the world is meat, money is meat, everything's meat. That's it.
It was wild.
A lot of like body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
Cool
You,
setting.
yeah. You did. You were ripping arms off.
You really did. Yeah, you had the biggest blast.
Oh,
No,
man.
Levi may have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
probably.
Levi was the main character, but I had my own thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
moment in that tower, though,
Oh, yeah.
realizing.
Spoilers, okay.
Yeah, stop it.
Oh, dude, that was the funniest. Like,
Uh,
I don't know. That was a hilarious. Honestly, this is back-to-back hilarious scenes. Like,
Oh man.
it's hard. Our show is
like-
stupidly stupid.
But yeah, one of my favorite things to hear Chris say is this is the stupidest show.
It's the dumbest thing.
This
Like,
is such a
it's so
dumb
dumb.
podcast.
Like, they're so good that you hate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this moment is so fucking funny that I'm like, I can't handle my life anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how. I mean, that's, again, like that's what we're doing here. Is we're just trying to make each other laugh. And,
Right.
You know.
Yeah, if we catch somebody else in it, then
Yep. Welcome aboard.
that's on you.
Yeah, that's on you. If you're laughing, that's your fault.
Yeah.
From like so similar, but like from an editing point, what system was the worst to edit? Because like people get
I
really
know.
crunchy with D&D or 3.5 or Pathfinder. So when I have to edit something from those, it's like 5-6 minutes that I just chop out. It's like, and the roll. There you go.
I do that.
yeah,
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, it's very nice to not have games that are super fucking crunchy right now, especially for that exact reason. But like for me, the editing stuff is different. It's setting based.
Mhm.
Like for me, the worst. One of my favorite to have people listen to because it sounds so awesome, but one of the worst experiences when it comes to the length of time that it takes to do mundane things is when we're doing Mothership.
Oh yeah.
Because like people talking in helmets and stuff, I'm like, oh well, I dedicated to this for a single 45-minute section of this part of the story, so God knows I got to keep doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I love when it's done, but like, oh man, after hours and hours of putting voice things on people to make them sound just barely like they're in a helmet or something. Oh my lord.
I think a big part of that too was those first 2 episodes of Mothership, right? Were like within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
But then the one between them was like a 3-hour-long Pirate Borg episode.
Yeah, that too.
Right? So you guys were
Yeah.
like crunching to edit those. Like
Yeah.
those were hell weeks.
Oh man, Pirate Borg was wild. I'm still sad about that. Just to say, anybody who wants to listen to it, it's a fun story. But there's a moment about 20 minutes in where there's supposed to be a storm happening,
Mhm.
just not there for some reason. Kills me every time. Just the quietest storm in the world. I
Yep.
need to go back and fix it, but I haven't been able to do it yet. It is the bane of this show for me. I think about it constantly.
So pretend it's there.
The only time I had a pain in the ass editing it wasn't the game that we were playing because I was so meticulous about every game. It was just a different kind of beast every time.
Sure.
Yeah.
But when we had guests on, my OCD would kick into overdrive because of the way I was editing for so long.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that drove me crazy. Oh my God. I spent way too long trying to pick out weird little sounds that probably didn't even exist at one point because I was just probably 10 extra hours initially for like a weeks before I got the hang of just letting things go sometimes. That was probably the worst for me when it came to editing.
Yeah, you gotta really
Well, I
find
wanted
the balance for sure.
I wanted everything to sound nice, and it came out great now that I think about it, but when I was editing it, it felt very strange.
Yeah, you want to
'Cause
do
it-
those people justice too. you
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
was exactly it, because they're
Mhm.
coming on to our show, and unfortunately, we can't just have them in the room with us, but
That's expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the only time that I've actually had any issues with
Nice.
editing, though.
I remember that being.
And that was
tricky.
Self-imposed,
yeah.
Who is the best to edit on your podcast? Like who do you not have to do too much to?
Me.
Nate.
Probably
Is that true? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't.
I would assume.
I mean, no one touches it after Nate, so.
You'll never know. No, I'd say Jake, mostly because he has a very consistent cadence whenever he picks a character. It's like instantly that's it, and usually that means loud, and that's the easiest thing to deal with. You know, I make myself like a perfect example would be my character in Lycoma.
Mhm.
He was a fun character to play, but I couldn't like yell in his voice. It was not something I was practiced in enough to make it sound like even this loud. So I would register very low a lot of the time, and I would fall off in conversation with people. So trying to find the balance just volume wise and normalizing that stuff was irritating just on my own part.
Oh man, it was equal all around for me. I edited so much for different reasons for all of us.
Sure.
Yeah.
But also Jake in the way that he just blacks out and says things and you just let him go off on a tangent. And it's like, well, that's just what's going to happen there. Keep going.
A lot of dead people.
Yeah. He loses a lot of characters for this reason.
Yeah.
You got to figure out a
man.
lot of voices on the fly.
No, some of them are natural.
Yeah, you have a lot of like the slight tweaks of the same character voice. It works though because you tweak him enough where it's like this sounds different.
Yep. Or he just does them like far enough apart.
Yeah, oh, that's true too. Yeah.
I planned
Yeah,
some
like
things
like
out.
Umbrus Blake, and then he kind of brought him back later as somebody else.
Yeah.
But honestly, when it comes to like the pre-editing stuff, it's mainly depending on that character's voice.
Yeah.
Having to turn it up or turn it down, you know, that's the only hard part for my editing.
See, I didn't deal with either of that. I guess that's why I don't have much good things to say about it. I just cut out sounds and
Oh, don't.
yeah, the mouth
Why?
sounds. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
They have they started collecting
I did, yeah.
every
early on.
mouth sound
Oh my
for a
god,
while.
that's a
But
horrific
then
file.
at some point you just
You
delete
have,
them all.
you have no idea how many mouth sounds 6.5 seconds is. Nobody
It
realizes.
just sounds like wet slapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually really gross.
It is
Yeah,
horrible.
it's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I just think about the question because there's lots of people who I see who want to be like actual play players and make their own podcasts, but they don't know anything about editing or a lot of other things, but primarily editing.
That was us.
Yeah,
that was us. We didn't know what the heck we were doing when we
Yeah.
started. We had to learn everything.
I wish I would have known how to normalize audio for the first few episodes of the show because
Yeah.
that's exactly the problem that I had.
They could be
Aaron-
remastered.
Aaron was great as a character named Wentworth in Call of Cthulhu, and he was just loud and bombastic and crazy, and I had just like a real calm Southern voice, and not knowing how to normalize those well, I just kind of didn't, and the audio doesn't play back very well comparatively. But that's like 2.5 years ago or almost 3 years ago
Yeah.
when I didn't know a damn thing about.
It was literally episode like 2 through 4
Yeah.
or whatever.
Honestly, editing should just be whatever you feel like you want to put in.
Yeah.
Everything you can do. I mean, you could grab your phone and record from that, and then upload it to Audacity and just start doing it. Practice with some stuff, and figure some things out. Do a little one shot before you go out and buy a Rodecaster.
Yeah,
phone.
exactly. I spent a lot of time doing research for obviously a lot of years because I wanted to do a podcast. So I listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts before that, and I'm like, I don't want to sound terrible,
Right.
like right off the bat. I know that like you can just move past that. I
Mhm.
mean, God, a perfect example for me is like my brother and me. It's I haven't listened in a long while, but it's 12 years of them doing this show, 10 years, something like that. And you go back to the first few episodes, like especially like sub 30, sub 50 or something. It's just like, ooh, guys. I was like, wait a minute, this was in 2010 or whatever. Like, I got to give these guys a break. You just got to start somewhere, and don't have any shame in what it is that the
True.
way that you're starting.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of when I was listening to the podcast earlier today, and you all were talking about the Spotify podcast
Yeah.
Mhm.
app. Yeah. Do you use that or?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify.
From the very beginning,
Oh, yeah.
Spotify for podcasters.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
Spotify
used to be
podcast,
Anchor. Yeah, it used to be Anchor. We used that from the very beginning because
Yep.
distribution was super simple, and that was the thing that I was like, I don't know anything about this. And if this takes care of it for me, then absolutely, man. It's always treated us well.
Yep.
We're obsessed with the analytics.
Yeah. I have like a daily ritual, and that checking the analytics for all of our stuff pops in like 3 times in there.
Yeah, mine's definitely in the morning and at night.
Yep,
because
morning,
they
night, and then
update.
once in the middle of the day for no reason.
I can't leave it alone.
I just can't. Yeah, I just have to keep doing it.
I do that with my channel's YouTube analytics all the time. I'm like
I'm sure.
tweaking, adjusting tags and other things constantly.
Oh,
Well,
sure,
you
sure,
have
sure.
to with YouTube.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't really. We put our stuff on YouTube. I make those video presentations of our episodes, and they look fine. I guess they're fine.
There's an
they
audience.
They get better all the time, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I noticed there's actually like a decent amount of plays there every week, which is surprising. But yeah, I don't know what the heck I'm doing with that. Like with tags and everything like that. I don't know. I read some articles and I'm like, I have a gist.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, let's just do this, and it's working fine enough.
Maybe another reason why we're glad that we never went into the YouTube world. Not only that, but if
We would
wa-
not
if-
have survived.
If we were doing
Yeah.
this specifically, there's no way like doing the video presentation of the stuff that we edit down, would be much harder to manage.
There was a point where I was wanting to do like animated style videos where just like images pop up as certain things are said,
Oh,
like I did
man.
with our shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna do this for an hour-long episode.
No.
That's insane.
Yeah, we have some pretty funny shorts from back in the day too on there though.
Yeah, those
One
are
that
fun.
accidentally got way too many views.
Yeah. Well, he just got like 1,000 views in its first week for no reason.
Yeah.
And I think it's
toddler.
because like the word toddler was in the title.
Yeah.
I guess my only guess. I have no idea
Oh,
otherwise.
man.
It's very
It's
funny.
called a tall toddler. You'll see it.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's just Nate telling Jake that he's a child.
Yeah.
That's mostly what.
So many moms
My-
saw that.
Yeah,
I don't-
my character James actually.
Yeah, it's fair enough. You're in character. Yeah,
Or you mean Nate telling Jake he's a child?
Absolutely.
You're right the first time.
That happens in more than just that. short, though.
That's how I get away with it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I said it in character. It's fine. It's not personal.
It's fine. It's fine. Would you, at any point, like do like a video special either for Patreon or on your YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It's just hard.
We thought about doing some live streams here and there, but you
Yeah.
know, it's all about time management with,
Yeah.
between work and this.
We also wouldn't want it to be like part of the main feed of stuff that we do on the show because it would be very polarizing, I feel. Like it'd be hard to because you'd have to do one or the other for either one. You'd have to use the edited audio or the video to support the edited audio for the podcast version, or leave the podcast raw or whatever
Oh,
for the
I see what
video
you're saying.
version or whatever, You have to do one or the other there, and really it's a lot of work in the world where you don't want to just like, hey, here's a one shot of us doing this game or whatever,
Right.
or a couple episode run of something like that. Of course, yeah. I mean, we're hoping still that sometime in the future, because we never did a Lycoma review. I'm sure that listening to it or looking at the episodes, we didn't actually do a review for it. It's because we want to do one with Walt and Strega, Tess, if she wants to come and be involved in it and stuff. Just because they really gave us a lot as the creators of it. They gave us so much amazing feedback, and they loved
Oh, yeah.
they loved the show, and that it just warmed our hearts so much. And just to be able to sit and talk with them about it would be wonderful, is what we thought. So we just never got around to it. Like with the time management that we have is very poor.
Yeah, well, we literally have one day a week that we can get together now. And it's just
Wow.
Mondays. So, yeah, because we all work.
Yeah.
And it's it sucks.
Yeah.
Real life sucks.
Stressy.
Yeah.
This would be much better work.
Yeah. That's like a long-term like goal in a way, is just like, let's try to be sustainable with this. Like let's do this for a living.
Yeah,
If possible, which is incredibly hard.
Even if it's like the income is something.
I'll go to part-time.
Yeah, I'm already
Right,
part-time.
exactly.
I mean,
I'll go no time.
from everything I've seen, like you have a good foot like in that direction. It's just keep doing it,
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
which
on
is the hard
keeping on.
part. And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
figuring out whatever happens with social media, whether it's going to implode, explode, wherever. Because
I know.
why waste your time on a platform that's not going to actually do anything for you?
Right. And that's the sad thing, really, is because we didn't jump onto Twitter until a year into the show.
Yeah.
And you could see the growth, just the charted growth we had from the time that we started talking to people and promoting ourselves more on social media. Yeah. The people that we met. And I mean, that's where we didn't start the Patreon until then either, because it's like, why would we do that with no real way to give it out other than like, hey, we have a Patreon at the end of an episode? And
Right.
having a social media presence was something that is only made it more fun.
Yeah. I actually, like, when I hear all that, like, Twitter's going down stuff and all this, I'm just kind of sad about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I actually hold it, like, it's fun.
It was-
I've had fun. I've made a lot of friends on there. And, you know, honestly, I feel like, as everybody talks so negatively about it, I'm just, like, I think I'm oblivious because I'm just not seeing it. I'm like, what's the problem here? This is still the same cafe it was.
We live in
Yeah.
It's not, though, apparently.
the city around it is burning.
They're selling drugs out of the back.
I mean, we only use it for that one specific thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're not
we're promoting.
Seeing, yeah,
but,
we're
like,
not seeing a bunch of other stuff that's going on, unless it's somebody we do know that's tweeting about it.
Yeah.
But
I think it's also because we stay so close. Like,
we also live
So
in the
in the
middle of
community.
nowhere, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're 50 years behind everyone else, in my
Not true.
opinion. It sure
Okay.
feels like it. There's like a
20.
time trial. Okay, 20 is more
Yeah.
realistic, I suppose.
yeah, we're in Minnesota,
Oh,
so that's lame. No, it's fine. It's a nice place.
Oh, I'm sure you can tell.
If you know a podcast that'd be great to have on the show, go ahead and comment below. You can also tell me what kind of music genre you think that I would be. I'll go ahead and read those and get back to you.
yeah, because that's what I
Real.
like. Where I found you was originally Twitter first, besides people telling me. But yeah, that's also like the struggle most people are having, which is like, I see some of them starting, Instagram Reels or TikToks now to fill in that space. But that's again goes back to the time to make additional content
Yeah. Yeah.
limitations.
Yeah. That's a lot of stuff to do. Even the shorts, like Chris spent a lot of time doing the shorts that we had back when we were doing that.
Yeah, I was putting too much work into them. I was putting it like word for word, so the words would come up
Mm-hmm.
and like images and stuff. I'm like, well, that took like 12 hours,
Yeah.
and it's like a minute-long video.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, here's the cover, here's a little wave going around, right, and that's it. That's all it needs to be, really.
It was cool though.
I like them.
I like that.
I was really proud of those. Those
Yeah.
were fun.
I liked all of
The
them.
last one I put that effort into, that new Monero one with the bleach jug and everything.
Oh my
When we were
god.
chugging bleach.
God.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
that one
man,
was
yeah.
that looked so good. I was really proud of that. And like, I probably look at it now and like this is terrible. But it was good. It was fun. It was a lot of work.
Do you like? I was thinking about that because of some of the content. Do you ever think about putting like a content warning on your
Oh, God.
podcast or in the
It's
description?
there like by default, like
Yeah.
from Spotify. We are definitely explicit.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
definitely say that.
I mean, having the explicit tag is there. We've talked about it in the way that
The way Dungeons and Daddies does it,
Well, like a disclaimer.
like an actual disclaimer. I've thought about it, but it's
I feel like you'll
Look-
either be cool with it or you'll leave.
Yeah, we kind of
You know?
just, I mean, there's an explicit warning
Yeah.
on the stuff that we do, and we're here to just play the game
Yeah.
and share our stories.
And-
If you don't like us, you don't have to listen to us, and it's
Yeah,
not
that's
going to
true.
hurt our feelings by any means.
we understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. If we're
We-
too crude for somebody, yeah, I get it. I
At one
totally
point,
get
at
it.
one point, I did get called out for saying a word way too many times, and,
That's
It
true.
was a
Yeah.
and I have cut back. I did listen. I will listen. Just don't be mean about it, and they were not.
They were
So-
not. They were so sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I I cut back.
It's just one of those things. I don't know. Is it ridiculous to think that like you set yourself to a standard, you have to hold yourself to higher and higher standards constantly? I mean, that's what we do with
Yeah.
the quality of our
Yeah.
show constantly.
It's
But like the more that we police ourselves on it, the
Yeah.
more we're going to have to police
it's
ourselves
the
on
same
it.
as being at the restaurant. Someone comes up and says, "Hey, can you stop swearing? My kid's like sitting 2 feet away from you."
Like, oh,
and
God,
you
I'm
say,
so
"Oh
sorry."
yeah,
Yeah,
But if they
absolutely.
come up and slap you and say, "Shut your fucking mouth," then it's gonna be a different story.
Then they're getting thrown to the table.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where I asked the question because it's also kind of like a leading question where you all and then like Pink Faux Hawk, like they have a funny kind of content warning because it's part of
Oh,
like
they think they're
a
better
rude,
than
crass,
us.
whatever,
Stop
podcast.
it.
But it's not actually like we're going to swear and this comes up. It's just a
Right.
blanket statement. But with yours, it's like, just look at it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, be the parent in Walmart that sees the metal album and is like, no, child, you can't buy that, and then they buy it
You are
behind their
idiot.
parents' back anyway.
Oh, dude, that's a life I've lived.
Yeah.
Like, you can't listen to Slipknot. Well, I'm gonna listen to nothing but Slipknot.
Hey man,
Yeah.
nobody has asked us about it like in serious terms.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
true.
hey, would you mind doing this? I suppose given a good enough reason or whatever the case may be, we'd reconsider it maybe. But it's never been it's a non-issue as so far. Really, is
Mhm.
what it is.
Yeah, we've got no negative feedback on that.
We've
Except for that one thing.
we've cultivated a very weird and crude audience as well, and that's
Mhm. They fit. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, also when you start like policing yourself, you
Yeah.
find it less enjoyable.
That's true. Yeah, you're not as genuine then. I mean, if you want like genuine us, you're gonna get a lot of fucks
Yeah.
in there.
I mean,
you know, like, but if if you don't want genuine us, then I don't know what to tell you. You know what I
God.
mean? Like, I'd rather be real than have to like censor myself just to appeal to more people. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there.
I do like the
Absolutely.
idea of appealing to more people, but I don't like the idea of compromising who we are to do so. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a huge compromise in certain regards.
It's
you
not,
know,
no.
but-
We were even saying too, like, hey, if James isn't cool with us swearing, let's cut it back a little, and we're fine with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did anyway, because this isn't nearly the
yeah,
fuck fest.
no.
Just
Damn,
stop it.
shit. I mean, you guys could be saying fucking more shit if you really wanted to.
I'm a little
say it. I mean,
disappointed
I
that
don't-
we're not, to be honest. No, I don't. That's the thing too. Is like it's such a non-thought to us a lot
Yeah.
of times too.
Yeah.
That's just
It-
part of our lexicon. We
It's
just talk
not
like that.
Minnesota nice. It's Minnesota respect. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
Yeah,
we
that's
just
true.
we have our own space. You're welcome to come to our space and listen to what we have to offer, but don't bring negativity into our space and get upset with us.
Yeah.
If you feel like we're actually saying something that's super
actually offensive.
yeah,
sure,
then
sure.
please bring
Yeah.
it to our attention.
Mhm.
Like
That's
I
a
said,
different story.
we're 50 years
entirely.
behind. We might not know of new things. Okay?
What does that even mean? Who knows? Like the internet exists.
But at the same, but at the same time, like this is a perfect example. We're coming into your space here.
Yeah.
That's exactly why we'd ask you,
Yep.
and naturally just cut it down a little bit on that in that regard as well. You know, this isn't our zone. You
Right.
know,
We are
Right.
guests on your show.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why we were like 2 hours early.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Because it was like 5:30. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, guys, 5:30. When we get here, I'm like, you're in Oregon, aren't you? I was like, well, we have
Couple of
something we were
time
going to do
zones.
after the interview anyway, so let's just do it beforehand. So, and
Every-
that was a blast.
Everything works out.
Everything works out.
Quite.
Yeah. That's why, like, we book ourselves to like 4-hour blocks.
Yeah.
It works. So,
What is like the biggest like stumbling block that you think is in front of you or that you had to overcome?
Time management.
yeah, that's always.
we have a lot of ambition to do like a lot of things
Yeah.
with all of this, but like just finding like the place to put those activities or like the work to do it, that's almost the impossible part,
Well, even on Mondays, we slot ourselves so we can have 4 hours of recording. Well, we get there. Sometimes we're a couple minutes late. Sometimes we're early. But then, there's getting comfortable around each other. So that's 20, 30
Or just
minutes.
catching up.
Sometimes an hour, hour and a half. Or like in the middle of an episode, we'll go on a 20-minute rant about Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
You know,
that's my
so-
favorite.
Right.
Tournament in Power 2's, going to happen at some point?
it is though.
Hemorrhage.
No, that's part of the reason why we're enjoying our bi-weekly current cycle right now.
Yeah.
Because it opens up a lot of time for everything else to happen.
The roll
And we-
standard summer break.
Yeah, and we still record the same amount, no matter whether it's for one thing or another. We're catching up again,
Mhm.
and that alone is something that makes the rest of life easier.
That being said, should we just bust the news here?
I mean, it's not going to be happy news for some people.
I've talked to everybody. They're okay.
Yeah, they're all right with it.
One guy wouldn't respond to me, but it's fine.
He also blocked me.
Well, no, he didn't. Like it was like,
Dad, please.
it wasn't him.
Wait, you still
He
talk
doesn't
to yours?
care. No, we're thinking since our quality of life literally has gone up since doing the bi-weekly
So
thing.
much.
Yeah.
And that we also started doing Flail to the Face as a bi-weekly show, that we're just gonna stay bi-weekly.
Oh, okay.
Which you know, like we like rode that like WWE lifestyle
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
2.5 years of like weekly episodes, no breaks, no stopping. And then we're like, fuck, we're dying here. So
Some weeks had
Yeah.
episode 1s on the same day that reviews came out as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So it was like more than that.
yeah, we got real stupid with that. Like we just got like we pushed really hard, and that was
Yeah.
the big thing. But it was like, at what point do we still need to do this? And I feel like it's more comfortable. Like I said, we're a lot more comfortable through the entire process now.
Yeah.
Like, for you guys as editors, that is a lot less of a crunch.
Absolutely.
Well, and then to keep the quality high,
Yeah.
we need that time.
yeah,
Yeah, you,
some
you
So,
can't get burnt if you want to keep
The end goal is hopefully one day we can go back to a weekly
Mhm.
podcast.
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. I mean, it's just for the foreseeable future. It's not like an indefinite thing as
That's
far as
true.
we know. But like,
We're fluid.
yeah, another reason for that is that I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Another reason for that is that Flail is one that we're recording all together with
Kevin Welch,
Kevin Welch and
Monkey Moto.
Webmutt.
We met in Scoots. Yeah.
They're great dudes, and Kevin is doing the editing for that.
Mhm.
And
Oh yeah, so he's a part of the team now.
Yeah.
I mean they
Yeah.
both are.
They both
Yeah.
are. Yeah, for sure.
We hope
Thomas
to have,
is another face.
Tom. Yeah, that's Monkey Moto.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Thomas.
It's great to kind of feel like you're still doing the same work, but like still feel like you're doing half of the work.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
and splitting all that stuff up. It's not like I'm like, hey, Kevin, thank you for being here just because of this. It's wonderful to have him
Oh, man, he's
on
been
the
great.
team for everything. He's hilarious. Both of them are hilarious to have around.
They were both just patrons who we like, you know, so we chatted enough. We're like, dude, let's do this.
Mhm.
And he was part of Don't Trust the Smiling Dungeon Master.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was his show that went under. And he's just like, we gotta do something else.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
was
you're
very,
joining
very
our
sad.
team, bro.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good dude. He's he's an awesome guy. Really happy with all the people that we know and like the friends that we've made.
Absolutely.
That's the coolest part of all of this. It's the
100%.
friends you made along the
Yeah.
way.
It's wild.
We've
It's
met
wild.
some
that-
interesting, great people.
That's
Man,
the
it's
truth.
awesome.
The truest part of it, man. Holy crap! And that again, it was like
Yeah.
we wouldn't have got to that point without jumping on social media when we did. I wish we would have
we
done.
would
it
be
sooner,
sitting here
really.
talking to you.
Exactly that.
That's true. Yeah. I really want to do RolledCon one year where it's just it's just like a blanket party. No, a blanket party. That's
Oh, no, no.
like a
Oh.
pillow party
Oh.
on Nate's living room floor.
No,
and
it's a
everyone's
key
just in
party.
pajama party. A key party? No, this is going south.
Like on Twitch.
no.
Where
no,
we
that's
just
a
stream
different
it?
kind of party.
No, we
Oh,
just
okay.
invite everybody over to Nate's house, and then everyone sleeps on his floor in pajamas.
But who's bringing
like
the
that,
fishbowl?
What's
No,
what's the
no,
fishbowl?
stop
We already
it.
have
Oh, for
one.
the keys.
We got one.
I have 0 upside down pineapples in my home. Please.
What does that mean?
That's a swinger thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for after the podcast, I could tell you stories.
Oh,
God.
Ooh.
Hey, I got a pineapple over there.
You leave it alone.
Why do you have that?
Yeah, I'm just.
You
Oh.
know
I
why
thought
he
it was
has
a-
it. We just talked about
I
it.
thought it was a real pineapple. He just has it in his basement.
Yeah.
For
On a
reasons.
shelf.
What's like something that you really want to do in the future, like a goal that each of you might have?
Never cut my hair. No, that is one though. That's real. I mean, it sounded like a joke, but it's not.
I kind of want to do try my hand at DMing, but I'm terrified. I'm
Oh,
scared.
man.
You know, I don't have the verbal
Acuity?
the verbal pukage to.
The verbal pukage.
Yeah,
there
you
you
know,
go.
you get these two in a room together and it's nonstop.
Yeah, I would hate to be one of me or Nate's friends.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, I also,
Yeah, right.
I think it would be awesome to do a side campaign on our Patreon eventually.
Of what?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
anything,
No, that
you
know,
know,
that's a
Maybe
that's
a
actually
long
really
play
good
of
idea.
something obscure.
You know, though, that if we ask our community, they're gonna be like, "Hey, play more Mork Borg."
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say no to that.
You know what you could do is there is a My Little Pony tabletop RPG.
I would love
Just
that.
do a metal version.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Levi would.
Well,
My Brutal Pony.
So
Yeah.
are you gonna put both of those two things together and Levi DM the My Little Pony game that we play?
Do it.
That'd be awesome.
Do it.
That'd be-
I don't want to run that. You have to.
Yeah, like we want to play a Dragon Ball Z verse or.
Oh!
There's no great system.
wanna
for
be a
that.
Saiyan.
Not yet, really.
we
Not
can create it.
Can we though? You need licenses and stuff for that.
Oh yeah, that.
I'll ask
I'll throw
Toriyama
my
myself.
hat in the ring on that one.
Oh, fair enough. We need
Oh,
a team
see,
for that.
we got
for
this.
that bad boy.
That'd be
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, I used to write some D&D content and other things, and I avidly study
I see it.
books
Mhm.
for
Yes.
systems. So the only hard part with the D&D, or not D&D, Dragon Ball Z is the power scaling. Like how
Yes.
Yeah.
how does that work? Because basically
Relatively
every level
nonsensical.
is exponential. So instead of being like
Yeah.
1 to 2, it's 1 to 5 to 15 to.
Yeah.
Over
yeah.
9,000.
Hey, yeah, you just figure out like an exponent for it. It
That's
would
it.
make sense, but yeah, it feels nonsensical. But
Uh,
I just don't know Dragon Ball as well as you guys do.
It'd be more like a Mork Borg fucking.
Like Dragonborg.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the mechanics
No.
itself.
Oh, the mechanics itself. Yeah, I feel like if you could strip away all of the flavor of Mork Borg, so that you're just eating like the proteins.
Yeah. That's how you get swole, yes?
Yeah, no, that's real. No, you could probably like put that back on there. Like if there was an SRD.
Ah,
for
I don't
Mork
like
Borg.
this. I don't like this
Me
already.
neither. But as soon as they said
All
take
right.
the flavor out of it, I'm
Okay.
like, but why?
Why would you do it?
Why would you want rice cakes when you can eat blackened flesh?
So
I
my
don't know.
thing would be one that Levi hates the idea of, but I would love to do a live show someday.
Yes.
Yucky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be wild and terrifying, but
I'm not that guy.
it would be so much fun.
I'm
I
used to
think.
being laughed at, so.
Yeah, that's-
When Jake says like super self-deprecating things, I just find it the funniest thing in the world.
Well, that's the great
Uh,
part about a live show is you only have to run that one game if you want multiple times, or switch it up
that's
with
true.
like 4 games or something.
True.
Oh, like a tour?
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't even think of touring. I thought like a single night. Like you just go to
No,
Duluth.
that's what I was saying.
Like a
Get the-
full-on
the,
tour?
The roll tour, man.
Ooh,
What I was
yeah.
saying earlier.
Oh, you did say that because Kevin said he would drive the RV because he's a mechanic on RVs.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember this now.
Yeah, yeah. My thing would be, I might want to do my own little show, but I'm not sure.
Oh, really,
Ooh.
sir?
Yeah, Nate keeps putting it in my head every time I forget about it.
Is it that one? Like that word?
Yeah, the
Ooh.
confabulist.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
like
know.
that.
It's just me talking about random stuff, and I have someone sit with me and talk. Sometimes we Google things.
Wow, yeah.
No?
That-
Really solid premise already, friend.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
if
working
if
on it.
Seinfeld worked, that can work.
It's been like 7 months. I'm working on it.
Oh, Lord.
No, I don't know. I got a lot of things that I want to do personally, but so far, every goal I've set has been like, I thought they were pretty out there goals, but we've hit them each time. And honestly, right now, the next goal is moving to a point where maybe we break like a few more numbers and we start to see another influx. And having Flail of the Face be another show for us and having our team expand is one of those goals being hit. And I did not expect that for like another year to 2 years.
Yeah, I had no expectations of like when things
Yeah.
could happen.
So right now, I don't really have any other big goals I'm looking forward to. We're doing really well right now, and it's just nice to have the summer break and just enjoy, I don't know, cooling off, I guess.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
slight decompression. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just feels like the burden has been lifted off. Definitely not from you guys, from the editors. You know.
No, I got a big break. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah,
Levi.
right here. No, that's awesome. Oh, the hair thing. Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It was more than that. No, there's more than that. I just want to keep this going. I want to just keep Rolled Standard going. I see no end in sight, and I don't feel like there needs to be one until one of us dies. So
There'll be enough audio to
you can just
Frankenstein a whole new
don't you
voice.
dare AI me. 'Cause I'm the oldest one. I'm definitely gonna go first. I'm also the healthiest one. No.
Yeah, it might be me. You can AI me. I don't care.
What? Why? Whatever. I'll do it, regardless of what you said. No. Yeah. I'm really just proud of what we're doing. I'm really happy with Flail to the Face too. That was such a there was a point a long time ago where Levi was like, let's just be a Mork Borg show. It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, we can't do that because we're the world standard. I'm like, but then it was just that seed planted. And then eventually it was like the right people kind of hung out with us. And then I was like, you know what? This is that time. Let's make it. Then me and Kevin talking about it and fucking made that logo. And then it was like, this is a real thing now. Let's do this.
Yep.
And I got Philip Jensen in Trapped Within, which is a fantastic adventure.
Yeah.
And one of a good friend of ours.
Mhm.
Like, he made his first thing for our jam last year, right? So now, like, with his side project, our side project, let's promote his thing. Like he, elevated us.
Yeah.
So
It's wild because it only exists because he did a thing for us originally. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to make a bigger, cooler thing. And it's the thing we're playing now.
yeah. Now we're one-upping each other, I think.
Yeah, I think that's I mean,
You motivated me real good. You motivated me better. That's how it feels. I keep looking at Jake all the time because it's so weird him not being right here.
yeah.
Like, he's always right in front of me, and I just talk to Jake the whole
Oh,
time.
just staring at you? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still doing it.
I can feel it.
I know. You keep looking back at me.
I don't have many questions. One of my last ones is: are you ever going to put photos of yourselves up? And if so,
Oh, they're there.
they're
They
there.
exist.
Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
where?
a few.
We did a fashion show for, that's not what we call it, for Ex Libris Mork Borg, and it was like us wearing shirts, specifically this one right here.
Yeah.
And Levi's not wearing, he's wearing World Standard merch. Look at
Right.
that kid. Yeah, anyway.
There's also Beach Day.
There's a beach day photo on our Instagram.
We need to delete it.
That was over a
We
year
deleted
ago. We all look so different.
Well, I was thinking about your like about page that you have your Hero Forge
his
minis on.
hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
right.
actually.
Oh, yeah, we made those minis of ourselves.
Yeah, we should put some real pictures. You're right, though.
We
You're
should.
right.
I said that years ago.
You did. We did those mugshots, remember?
Yeah,
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
We felt like that was a pretty good idea.
The cops were not happy when we did it.
Yeah, we used their camera and their room. No, we didn't. We used
What are you
real
doing here?
stuff.
No,
Just booking ourselves in, officer.
No, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, we're not. We're so active on the like socials, and
Not me.
not. I mean, well, of course.
You take pride in that, I feel.
I'm a social media pariah. I don't
Pariah? Would you get kicked out for doing?
Yeah, I don't like
saying all those bad things he said.
All that golf he was watching.
the golf.
No, yeah, that should be updated. There's a few things that we should probably keep track of on there as well. But when we got the interactions of people on socials and stuff, it feels more. I mean, just between Discord and Twitter alone, it's like that's so much more fun. I really do feel bad though for the people that like. We give a lot of information out on Twitter and stuff like that. And I know that there's a lot of people that just listen to the show that aren't on socials, that just found us out of wherever they found us.
Yeah.
And they're otherwise disconnected from us in that way. Like, to be able to update them better is probably, should probably be higher on my list of priorities.
Well, I think a lot of it is like we keep moving so quickly with these various things and then forget to tell it on every single platform.
Yeah.
Like that's hard to do.
That
like
is
if you
hard,
follow
yeah.
us only on Facebook, you get like half the story.
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
follow us on Twitter, you're getting the whole story. But that's
and then a lot of other stuff too. So
yeah, like Instagram. Like we have a Reddit that's a subreddit or whatever that's like so sparsely like updated. So I hate that part.
Yeah.
Of all of this. I like talking to the people, but I hate like just the repetitive, like, I gotta post this same exact thing 8 times today and then share it more times. Like, it's annoying. I don't like doing that.
Sounds like there's somewhere should make an app that just puts all those together.
Yeah, the problem is, though, like, all of those people are against each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, there's not gonna be
different
you're not gonna
factions.
find a vending machine with, like, Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah. How
That's probably
dare
not
you?
true, but, yeah, like, that's probably why that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But that's just a guess.
So last question I have is, what show would you want to guest star on, or who would you want to guest star on your show?
Oh, dude.
Okay.
All right, we're having
Dude.
AARPG and the Pink Faux Hawk because we're doing Mortal Kombat.
That's a maybe. That's a big
Stop
old
it.
maybe.
That's
That may
happening.
not be
See,
true.
this is what we do. We say a thing and then everybody thinks it's real except for like the person
real.
who said
And
it.
then I have
I'm
to make it real.
Exactly the point.
That will happen though. Yeah, that's the thing that's going to happen. Ultimately, I have an answer to that. Who do I want on our show? And the answer to that is Johan Nor. So
Oh.
Johan, if you're out there, or Johan,
Call me
Nor-
back, baby.
Yeah. We want you to play with us on Play to the Face, or the world standard. We'll play Mork Borg again.
We'll
Yeah.
go back for it.
Can't twist my. You don't have to twist my arm very hard.
Man, I don't know. I was just talking about this with Jake the other day, and I like it. You know, it doesn't matter. It's all of them are out there. Anytime I think about it, but I'd love to play with Brennan Lee Mulligan in any capacity. That dude is such an absolute genius / psychopath. I would absolutely love to sit down and play, especially something like Mork Borg, where I'd assume for about 4.5 minutes we'd still know more about the game than him. So, but he's just a wonderful entertainer, and I think that to be able to play with him would be cool.
I think our vibes would match Dungeons and Daddies quite a bit.
Oh,
That's probably
yeah.
true.
You're
Yeah.
probably right about that too. I mean, maybe that's. I don't want
That's my big dream.
to. Those guys are kick ass.
I want to hang out with Charlie
good.
White.
They're a bit classier than us, though. Like we're pretty aggro.
Dungeons and Daddies?
I
Not
don't
really
know.
aggro, but like
Over the
we'll
weekend?
come off
Yeah.
aggressive.
They're pretty chill. I think that they would match, and if anything, like up the sexuality content.
Oh,
man. Levi
I don't
loves
know if we
that.
can handle anymore. Levi like had relations with a manicorn as a person made of moss.
Yeah. He
That
does
became a
whatever he
whole
can.
thing.
Yeah, it happened.
One other one that I could think of, just because it was something that like I stumbled across growing up watching Whose Line Is It Anyway and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
man.
I loved listening to.
You want Wayne Brady up on it?
No. I mean, well, I don't
Yes?
care. I don't
That'd be
care. Yeah,
incredible.
But
Why would we say
D&D.
no to that?
yeah.
I started listening to Harmontown like way back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And Jeff B. Davis is on there, and he is such an amazing talent as well. And he played Shadowrun and all sorts of different stuff with those guys on there. And I stumbled across his Patreon, where for like $200 or something like that, he'll play like TTRPGs or Dungeons and Dragons with you or whatever. And I was just like, is that worth $200 to me right now? Because it doesn't seem like
that
a
all it
lot.
costs?
I think so.
I got $200 right now.
Me too.
But Jeff Davis is a funny guy and very entertaining dude, and I think he would be he would be a riot. So those are the two I could think of anyway.
I'd want to be on Charlie's show.
Just go sit down with
Moist
Critical?
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like that guy.
yeah, he's legit too.
Yep.
No, those are good ass answers, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are
Look
good
at us.
I've never thought
Look
about
at us
that.
sound like normal people and
Wow.
stuff.
We're humans.
Wow.
Their eyes blink sideways.
Yeah, that was the one thing when I was at RTX is everyone's just really weirdly normal. When you actually talk to them, you're like, oh wow, you're normal. That's cool.
You wouldn't believe it from me listening to you.
Painfully normal.
Yeah.
Awkwardly normal.
Awkwardly normal.
I hate it.
Why aren't you screaming and yelling and jumping around? Oh, that's editing.
To be fair though, if you saw
Yeah,
me in
that's-
person, I'd
that's
still do
editing.
that. I actually do that in person.
No, that's true. You wouldn't disappoint.
Yeah, maybe. Like, man, it doesn't stop, does it? Nope.
Oh Lord.
Thank you for watching. This is a passion project for me, and if you enjoy the show, hit that like button or share with a friend. And check out our Patreon and merch stores in the links below. Patreon is where we will post bonus content and organize games with you, the viewers. That's patreon.com/Ampersandbox. If you want to check out any of the other interviews, go ahead and click one of the boxes you see on your screen. Otherwise, remember to be kind and roll well.